So here's a wild thought. What if the real secrets to crushing it on LinkedIn today were actually written down more than a decade ago? In this explainer, we're going to jump in a time machine back to 2009 to unpack some seriously timeless advice and see how it holds up.
And this is our guide for the journey, a book called 42 Rules for 24-Hour Success on LinkedIn, which came out way back in January 2009. It's kind of fascinating to see what they thought was cutting edge back then. And, it's even more interesting to see how much of it is still spot on today. The book kicks things off with this quote, and honestly, it's such a great reality check. It's making it crystal clear. Success on LinkedIn was never about instant results. It wasn't then, and it definitely isn't now. It's a game of patience and putting in the work.
Okay, so here's our game plan. We're going to look at the 24-hour success mindset, then dive into crafting your digital brand, talk about the art of networking, check out some tactics from beyond your profile, and wrap it all up with some timeless lessons. All right, let's jump right in with the 24-hour success mindset. Now, the name is a little deceiving, right? The book makes it super clear that this has nothing to do with becoming a star in 24 hours. It's all about being ready for an opportunity no matter when it shows up. I mean, this quote just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? The book really hammers this idea home again and again. Your network is your single most powerful asset. We hear this all the time now, but they were saying it loud and clear back in 2009. Relationships are everything. Which brings us perfectly to our next section, crafting your digital brand. And I absolutely love the phrase the book uses for this, your 3-second bumper sticker. How cool is that? It's all about that immediate, powerful first impression. So let me ask you this directly. Think about your professional headline on LinkedIn. It follows your name everywhere on the platform. Does it instantly tell people who you are and what value you bring? The book argues this is one of the most critical parts of your profile, and yet it's the one most people overlook. And here's a perfect example of what we're talking about. The before is fine. It tells me your job title. But the after, that tells me a story. It screams impact and value. And get this isn't some newfangled marketing advice. This was rule number 1 from the very beginning. But here's the key. Your brand has to be authentic. It has to be you. The book lays out these super simple rules. Don't lie. Don't just pitch people constantly. Focus on providing value. Do your homework before you reach out. And be confident. It's a formula for building trust that works just as well today. Okay, so your brand is all set. Now what? Well, that brings us to section 3, the art of networking. And this is all about going beyond just collecting contacts and actually building real, meaningful relationships. And really, it all boils down to this one simple but powerful idea. It's not a what can you do for me game. It's about giving and taking. That was the core of good networking in 2009. And you know what? It's the absolute bedrock of it today. A perfect example of this two-way street is how the book talks about recommendations. It's this awesome, virtuous cycle. You ask for them to build up your own credibility, sure, but you also give them to recognize other people's great work and make those relationships stronger. It's a total win-win. But here's the thing, not all recommendations are created equal. And the book gives some fantastic tactical advice here. Be specific. Don't just say, Johnny works long hours. That's kind of vague. Instead, say something with punch, like, Johnny's dedication was clear when he came in at 4 a.m. to support the European team. See the difference? That second one has weight. Now for section 4, and honestly, this is the part that kind of blew my mind. We're talking beyond your profile. We're about to uncover some power user tricks from 2009 that I bet will surprise you. It's really easy to think of early LinkedIn as just a simple online resume. But this book shows that was just the tip of the iceberg. If you knew where to look, the platform already had some seriously sophisticated tools just waiting to be used. I mean, check this out. The book is a full-on tutorial on how to use Boolean search. We're talking quotes for exact phrases, dashes to exclude words, all of it. This is some seriously powerful, nerdy stuff. It just proves that right from the start, LinkedIn was built to be a massive searchable database. And it wasn't just search. The book talks about a feature called LinkedIn Answers, which was basically a big Q&A forum. But people were using it for some really smart strategic things, like creating an informal board of advisors, gathering intel on their competitors, and tracking what was happening in their industry. That's next-level thinking for 2009. And that brings us to our final section, Timeless Lessons from 2009. So let's pull all these threads together and see what has really stood the test of time from this early guide to professional networking. I just think this comparison from the book is so telling. Even way back then, the battle lines were drawn. Facebook was for your whole person, the personal, fun side of you. LinkedIn? The book calls it staid, purely business-oriented and professional. That core identity was baked into its DNA from day one. And this brings us right back to the title of the book. 24-Hour Success was never about getting rich quick. It meant being perpetually prepared. It's about building a brand and a network that are out there working for you, around the clock, creating opportunities even when you're not actively looking. So we'll leave you with this final thought to chew on. When you look back at all these foundational ideas, being authentic, providing value, building real relationships, always being prepared, which of those do you think matters the most for success today? It's funny, isn't it? The more things change, the more the fundamentals really do stay the same.